All right, today we are diving into one of the coolest parts of artificial intelligence. It's called unsupervised learning. And honestly, this is where AI basically becomes a detective, finding all these hidden patterns in data, completely on its own.
Have you ever wondered about this? It's like this little piece of magic, right? You snap hundreds of photos, and then your phone's gallery just creates these perfect little folders for each person. You never told it who was who, so how does it know?
While the secret is a special kind of AI that learns with absolutely no guidance. It doesn't get an answer key, there's no supervisor telling it what's right or wrong. It's just figuring things out all by itself.
Okay, so let's put a formal name to it. Unsupervised learning is when an algorithm's job is to analyze and group together unlabeled data. The goal isn't to get a specific answer right, it's to find the natural structure, the hidden story that's already sitting there inside the data. To make this crystal clear, let's use an analogy. Forget computers for just a second. Imagine I hand you a huge box filled with all kinds of fruit, all mixed up. I don't tell you what anything is called. I just give you one simple task: organize it. What would you do?
Well, first, you'd just look at this jumble of what we'd call unlabeled data, the fruit, and your brain would just instinctively start spotting similarities, right? The red round ones over here, the long yellow ones over there, the small purple ones go in this pile, and before you even know it, you've made groups: a pile of apples, a pile of bananas, a pile of grapes. And here's the key. You discovered these categories without anyone telling you their names. That is exactly what an unsupervised AI does.
This whole process of naturally creating groups, well, that brings us to the first major type of unsupervised learning, which has a name. We call it clustering.
So, clustering is pretty much what we just did with the fruit. It's the job of grouping a set of things so that the items in the same group, or cluster, are way more similar to each other than they are to items in any other group.
At its very core, every single clustering algorithm is trying to answer this one fundamental question. It just scans through tons of data and tries to figure out, hey, which of these things just belong together, based on what they're like.
And this is incredibly powerful in the real world. Think about e-commerce sites like Daraz or food delivery apps like Foodpanda. They use clustering to sort millions of us into meaningful groups. And of course, there's your phone's gallery, solving that exact problem we started with, grouping photos based on the faces in them.
And what's really cool is how these discovered groups become so valuable. The AI might uncover a cluster at labels weekend shoppers, or maybe another group of bargain hunters who only ever buy stuff when there's a discount. And then there are the frequent users. A business can take this info and tailor their marketing perfectly to each group. That is a massive advantage.
Okay, let's move on to the second type of unsupervised learning. So beyond just grouping things, what if an AI could find hidden rules and connections between them? Well, this is called association.
Yeah, association is all about finding these interesting relationships that are buried in huge piles of data. The goal is to spot these strong if this then that rules.
To put it simply, it's looking for connections. If a customer buys product A, how likely is it that they're also going to buy product B? Finding these little links can unlock some huge insights.
The classic example of this is something called market basket analysis. So imagine a big supermarket, like an Imtiaz or Al-Fatah, runs all its sales data through one of these association algorithms. It's just looking for things that people often buy together. And then one day, it finds a surprisingly strong connection. It discovers that a very specific combination of items happens 70% of the time. And the rule is this: 70% of customers who buy bread on a Monday also buy eggs. Now, this isn't just a random guess. This is a pattern backed by data that the AI found all by itself. So the real question is, how does a business use this knowledge? Well, they could physically move the eggs right next to the bread to boost sales. Or they could run a promotion: buy bread, get 10% off eggs. This is the exact same logic that powers the recommendation engines on YouTube, or that customers who bought this also bought feature on Daraz. It's all about finding those association rules.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap and just draw a really clear line between these two major types of machine learning.
On one hand, you've got supervised learning. It needs labeled data. It needs a teacher to learn. Its whole goal is to predict a correct answer, like saying, yep, that's a cat. But on the other hand, you've got unsupervised learning. It works with unlabeled data, no teacher needed. Its goal is to explore and find hidden patterns, to answer a question like, hey, can you just find the natural groups in all this data?
So now that you've seen just how powerful finding these hidden patterns can be,
What if you could be the one to uncover them?
Seriously, thinking this way is like being a data detective. The data holds all the clues, to customer behavior, to market trends, to all these hidden opportunities. All you need are the right tools to uncover them. And a great way to get those tools is through some practical, hands-on learning. For example, the Skill Development Center at the University of the Punjab offers a short course on AI right there on their Quaid-e-Azam campus. It's a chance to really get your hands dirty with tools like Python and learn exactly how to analyze huge datasets to find those valuable hidden patterns we've been talking about.
So really the only question left is, once you have the skills and the tools of a data detective, what incredible, maybe even game-changing patterns will you be the first one to discover?